In the Department of Computer Science and Cybersecurity, here with the subject Object-Oriented Programming in Java, that is OOP with Java, and today we'll be dealing with lexical issues in Java. Lexical analysis, which is also known as scanning. Lexical analysis, it scans, stores code character by character, grouping these characters into meaningful units called tokens. Tokens like Lego bricks, which contains keywords, identifiers, operators, punctuation. The scanner identifies each token, assigns its category, and passes it on to the next stage. What is the benefit of this? Like missing semicolons or invalid operators, identifiers early on while programming, optimization potential. Tokenization enables compilers to optimize code based on identified keywords and structures. Whitespaces in Java. Whitespaces refers to any character that doesn't participate in actual functionality of your program. This includes spaces, ubiquitous blank spaces in characters, tabs, horizontal jumps across the code, often used for indentation, and line breaks, new lines separating your code into readable lines. Here we have an example whereas how a normal program without white spaces is given, this code might work, but it would be a nightmare for it to work. It has no proper spacing between anything, which will actually give a tough time to the compiler. And when we have white spaces properly given, space between int and x and is equal to 5, it gives proper introduction and proper conclusion with the body for the compiler. Enhanced readability. Line breaks. It separates logical sections of your code with blank lines for improved visual clarity and avoids excessive white space. While important, too much white space also should not be given. It may clutter the code. Identifiers. They are used as cornerstones for Java, serving a unique name for elements like classes, variables, methods, and packages. The tip, my variable, which is known as camel case letters, where my is small and variable is large, and my variable, which is Pascal scale. That means all words with uppercase are present. The first word is with uppercase, and the second word also starts with an uppercase. So identifiers, so they're telling that Java is case sensitive. Start characters. The first character may have like small letter A to Z or a large letter A to Z. It may have an underscore or the dollar sign. Subsequent characters can be any of it plus digits from 0 to 9. Reserved characters like int, if, for as identifiers can be used. More about identifiers. In these conventions, they improve code and readability and consistency. Using inconsistent naming within your team promotes unified code base. Valid identifiers improve your code's clarity and maintainability. Think of them as labels accurately reflect the purpose of your program elements. Java literals, they are the building blocks of code values. Across programming languages, literals represent constant value directly expressed in code. Java literals, they can be integers, floating point, characters, string, boolean, or even a null value. Integers can contain whole numbers, natural numbers, and negative numbers. Floating point like 3.14, 1.23, with scientific notations can be included. Characters, any character, a slash n. Strings, which can be given in double inverted commas. Boolean, which has only two values, either true or a false. Null, it is denoted as an absence of a value. Understanding literals, in the code, each literal has a specific format. Integers can have prefix like binary or hexadecimal, OB or OX. Integers can use escape sequences like a slash n for a new line. Null represents the absence of any object reference. Here, int age is equal to 25. It's an integer literal. Double pi, 3.14159, floating point literal. Character literal is a single character. String greeting is given as welcome into double inverted commas. Boolean is sunny, that is true. If it is not sunny, then it may give a false. Reference, we may give null or actual size of any value. Best practices in white space. Despite being invisible, that reigns the supreme kingdom of code readability. Consistent and thoughtful whitespace usage can transform your code from a dense jungle to a well organized landscape. Guidelines for indentation and formatting. Indentation, use of 2 or 4 IDE features can be NetBeans, VS Code, Eclipse, can be used in Java. And descriptive. They should be meaningful and descriptive, and they should avoid vague labels like temp, X, and giving the final keyword directly. Customer count, calculate area. We have to give the name of what the code is going to hold in the further lines. Context matters. I or J can be acceptable in specific contexts like loop encounters. Aim for descriptive names for temporary variables. Short-lived nature is evident from our context. Like bad names include temp, X, Y. Common mistakes and pitfalls. Inconsistent indentation is a problem. So this is a common mistake we all do. This makes our code clutter, making code comprehension a chore. Missing line breaks, cramming the code onto one line without any breaks can obscure logic and make your program look like a monolith. Excessive whitespace, while necessary for clarity, too much whitespace can bloat your code and impact readability. Here, you may have to zoom in and look how white spaces are given properly in this program, and it improves the quality of the code even while executing, makes the computer easy to understand. Here, instead of int age, we have given in string, which is a common mistake we tend to do. The better way to write this is not give string to it, and pi value can be written as final double using final constants for values like pi. Int if is equal to 10. If, it may take as the if statement. So instead of giving if, we have to give the actual number. Example, here we have given int is even. This is easier to understand and the computer won't misunderstand. Why clean code matters and the best practices for it? Clean code matters because it is concise and easier to understand. There is always professionalism in these kind of codes because they help in showcasing and dedicating the quality, speaks volumes about you and your team. What are the best practices to follow? Meaningful names. Ditch the names such as temp, X and Y and use proper names like customer name, calculate area, set dimensions of my box, set dimension, demo box. Think of them as labels accurately reveal your use comments wisely. Don't drown your code in the sea of comments. Instead, use them strategically to explain non-obvious logic or complex algorithms. Use it very spacingly and properly. Thank you.